Welcome to today's report. We have some important news to discuss. The Dallas Cowboys have decided to release 4 players following the 2025 NFL Draft. This move was necessary for the franchise to stay within the 91-player roster limit. The number was expected, especially after reports that the team had signed 9 undrafted free agents. While those players have yet to be officially announced, that should happen soon. Let's go over all the cuts. At least one of them surprised me a bit. By the way, we're just 18 subscribers away from reaching 21,400. Now, let's dive into the Cowboys' recent roster decisions. The most notable name, and one many of you will probably recognize, is Malik Davis. The running back was released by the team. The Cowboys drafted 2 running backs last weekend, including Duche Vaughn. Davis had some opportunities in his time with the team. He appeared in 12 games in 2022, averaging 4.2 yards per carry. He had previously spent time on the practice squad, but consistently found himself behind Duche Vaughn in the pecking order. Essentially, he was the 6th running back on the depth chart, with Vaughn and Jaden Blue expected to get significant preseason reps and 7th-round pick Phil Maffa also likely to get snaps, plus the potential involvement of Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. The team probably didn't see the need to keep another running back, especially with Denzel Daxton included as part of the International Player Pathway program. The team is in a solid position right now and also has Lipke, a fullback who can take on some running back duties. So, it makes sense that there was no need to keep an extra back in a 91-man roster, especially considering Daxton's international status. Personally, I was a little surprised by the release of Davis. I thought they might go in a different direction. We recently discussed about 10 players under evaluation, and we correctly predicted 3 out of the 4 released. Unfortunately, Davis was the only one we missed. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Were you surprised by Malik Davis's release? Drop a yes if you were, or no if you weren't. Share your thoughts in the comments. Moving on, another cut involved an offensive lineman. Offensive tackle Earl Bostic Jr. was part of the 2023 UDFA class and received one of the largest signing bonuses and guaranteed money among those signings. Another player who was released was Jack Anderson, along with Brock Minson, a name we'll touch on shortly. The number of offensive linemen on the roster was already significant, 15, not including the undrafted free agents. After selecting Tyler Booker and Dejiani Cornelius in the draft, that number rose to 17. The team already had 3 reliable tackles, Matt Lett and Nathan Thomas among them, while Hakey Denny offered some versatility at guard, something Bostic wasn't able to match. The best-case scenario for Bostic could be returning to the practice squad after dealing with injuries early in his career. At 6'3" and 310 pounds, it wouldn't be surprising to see him, along with Malik Davis, eventually land on another team. However, it does seem like their time in Dallas is coming to an end. We've already discussed Davis and Bostic, and now Jack Anderson is the most recent release. Once again, this move wasn't particularly shocking. Anderson has been something of a journeyman. He initially signed with the team in late January, just before the end of the season, and then landed a futures contract. His career tells the story of a player who's bounced between rosters, drafted by one team, cut from the active squad, and later picked up by others. Now, he might find an opportunity with a team still looking to compete within its division. Anderson played guard, but due to the presence of more qualified options at the position, the team found itself with a surplus of linemen that allowed them to rest their starting unit during the preseason without having to worry about who would take snaps. This year, the team seems to have prioritized new signings over exploring the UDFA market for offensive line help. With so many players on the line, the lack of playing time can be frustrating for local fans. Deciding who to cut becomes increasingly challenging after bringing in new names. Among the more notable releases was also a defensive player whose journey stands out. He also arrived as an undrafted free agent and never made the 53-man roster, spending time on the practice squad. There's a slim chance he could return around training camp, as the depth chart remains in flux, but that reshuffling will likely take place soon. One of the linebackers won't be available for Week 1, but there are still several young names at the position, all added in recent years. One of them rejoined the team after the season in what was considered a veteran signing for future development. Others have been added with potential on special teams. It's expected that many of these younger linebackers will get preseason reps. One might get a few chances, while another could see significant playing time. So it's not surprising that the released defender is seen as part of a previous regime. Despite changes on offense, including a new offensive line coach, this player is now facing a completely new coaching staff, new defensive coordinator, and new pieces on defense. That restructuring matters, and it's not unexpected to see the roster undergo transformation. The athletes each bring their own skill sets, but it's natural to see turnover at the bottom of the roster. We've reviewed the 4 cuts made by the team. Stay tuned for more updates, as additional details are expected to emerge in the coming days. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Solomon Thomas, the veteran defensive lineman, made headlines this week with a striking admission. He regrets signing with the Dallas Cowboys. In a candid interview that surprised both fans and analysts, Thomas expressed disappointment not only with his individual performance, but also with the direction and environment of the franchise. After spending productive seasons with the Jets and previously with the 49ers, Thomas joined Dallas in hopes of bringing veteran leadership and depth to a defensive front that had lost key contributors. However, the move has not lived up to expectations. I thought it would be a place where I could thrive, compete at the highest level, and be part of a culture that pushes you every day, Thomas said. But it hasn't felt like that at all. While Thomas didn't directly criticize coaches or teammates, his words suggested dissatisfaction with the team's internal culture and inconsistent effort. According to sources close to the locker room, Thomas has struggled to find his role in Dan Quinn's system and feels underutilized, especially given his experience and versatility on the defensive line. His regret also reflects a broader sense of unrest within the Cowboys organization after another underwhelming playoff exit and an offseason marked by contract disputes and uncertainty around key personnel. For a player like Thomas, who has battled injuries and worked hard to reinvent himself, the lack of cohesion and accountability has reportedly been frustrating. I take responsibility for my play, always, Thomas added, but I expected more from the situation as a whole. The Cowboys, known for their star-studded roster and constant media spotlight, may not have been the right fit for a player seeking stability and purpose late in his career. As the 2025 season approaches, questions remain about whether Thomas will stay in Dallas or seek a fresh start elsewhere. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.